comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Ben Slinger, and with me here at PAX on morning 2, the Saturday, is Trevor Scott.
Hello.
We are recording from the handheld lounge because we're here a bit early and we've got half an hour to kill. And look, when isn't it a good time to podcast?
Exactly. And it's quite a sunny morning.
A sunny morning? It is a sunny morning. So that's our first word, sunny. No, it's not. We're just going to do some click pitch. We've been doing it with some devs on the floor. We're going to do it just with us because we like each other and it's fun. All right, 3, 2, 1, click.
I need to actually get it up and running on my phone.
Whoever needs to get it up. All right, my word is gut.
Party.
Gut party. There's a party in my guts and it's making me throw up all over the floor.
Okay, so I'm thinking that this is like a multiplayer co-op game.
Okay.
Set in like a stomach.
A stomach, yep. Gotcha.
And you've different bacteria.
And it's co-op. What's the...
Well, it's maybe, you know, one of those.
It's like couch multi.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think you've got different coloured bacteria and you're trying to like infect different areas of the stomach and basically
so you're, like,
get your...
to spread your infection.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. Is your goal to like make the person throw up or something or die, or like if your infection reaches
critical mass,
you know, the right organ or something, then they're going to throw up, and that's how you spread your bacteria, right? Is vomit goes everywhere.
Well, I think first of all you're just trying. Maybe you're going through different arenas in the body.
Okay.
To, you know, and if you're the winner of this one, then you've got 1 point on the board, and if you win in 2-3 different areas, you...
All right, so you've got ongoing... Okay, so you're getting points across matches.
Yep.
And I like the idea of it just randomly selecting a part of the body, and obviously you have different maps for different parts of the body, and then it might just be still a regular scoring thing, like... best 3 out of 5 or something.
Yeah.
But it tells you at the end, like, you infected this % of their body and shows it on, you know, on a little diagram of how far your infection spread versus everyone else. Little zones and organs. That could be cool. And then maybe that shows... you get some little stats about, like, you have infected 37% of the population. You're a successful virus or whatever. Contagion.
Yep, I like that.
Cool. That's cool. I like that.
Anything else that you can think of?
I'm just trying to... I guess how's the moment-to-moment gameplay looking? Like, how are you actually fighting off...
Well, what I'm also seeing is, you know, you've got stomach acid that is sort of rising from the bottom and sort of settling.
Okay, well, that's it. You can have, like, environmental hazards, obviously, depending on what
area of the body
you're in. So, yeah, the stomach level has... Yeah, stomach acid that kind of comes and goes. Maybe if you're in the leg, like sometimes the level just shifts because they've moved or they've kicked or something.
Yep.
You're in the heart. It's literally like there's pulsating happening.
Yep.
To like
the lungs. You got air, you know, wind sort of effects going in and out.
Sections where you could get sucked in and sucked. Yeah, hazards and stuff. Yeah, that's cool. So you just like. Because we were recently talking about Towerfall. This feels kind of Towerfall-esque. Are you shooting things at the other people? Are you trying to melee attack them? Are you trying?
I think you got a little bit of that,
items?
But it's more around. Okay, how much of the background can you cover with your color?
Oh, okay. So you've got an aspect of painting. I see. So can you have
someone else can paint over yours?
Yeah. Of course. So it's about kind of.
So it's kind of like a Lethal Lawns-ish.
Overwhelming. Yeah, and obviously just a bit of like. Splatoon-esque or like the Blob where you're covering things in your infectious brand of infection. But there obviously needs to be ways to like push back then and do things like to get the advantage on the other person, right? Otherwise you'll just end up running in circles and painting the whole arena and overpainting the other person while they overpaint your stuff. So
I mean what you can actually do is, you know, you can knock them into the stomach acid and then you've got
so it's
like
kind of about manipulating them into the hazards of that level in a way. Okay. You could have items and
power-ups and shit.
Sorry?
You can probably have power-ups and
that's what I'm thinking. You can have items that like infect a large area when you fire it off or something, but maybe they've got, you know, maybe there's a time down on a timeout on it, a countdown on it, that they can somehow prevent it or turn it, like switch it to their color or something. You know, if you let them near it. So you're balancing. Okay, I'm going to get to cover a wide area, but you need to stay close, so you're not covering other areas in that time, right?
Yep.
Because if you don't stay close, they're going to come and take it over. Well, and actually, I like that idea in general of the ability that could apply to more power-ups. Sorry, I definitely just plosived into the mic.
That's okay.
We don't have pop filters here. Of more power-ups where you can switch that, because that kind of brings in the whole infection side of things, right? Of one virus taking over the other. That maybe there's a lot, like maybe other power-ups let you have some sort of switch around where you can use that to your advantage when someone else deploys it.
Yep.
Because it's sort of, you're like taking it over.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering whether you've got almost another version of, say, you know how some games have different modes. You've got maybe an infection mode in that you've got like 4 players, one person is infected, and they're sort of going around, and if they defeat one of them, that person comes back as on that team now. Okay,
yeah. You could definitely have different modes. Everyone else is playing white blood cells, though.
Yep.
Like trying to take it out.
But I'm seeing that as more, maybe even an 8-player multiplayer, that you have 4 on each team, and you have that sort of, if you have someone from the infection side beat the antibodies, then that person goes over to the other side, and you have that.
Oh, I see. So you could end up with 1 versus
7.
You'd have to boost their powers to a certain degree based on how many are on their team, but yeah, I do like the idea of having antibodies, having white blood cells that are then just able to wipe out any infection. Like they're not setting their own color; they're basically the eraser of infection. That's interesting. And then I wonder if you could bring in aspects of the areas that you've infected, then have some benefit or something. Like it's not just how much you've covered. It's like if you're in an area of infection, then you've got some bonuses or something.
Yep.
So then there's a real benefit for the white blood cells to be strategic about like what they erase, like what they clear up.
Yeah, but then again, I think with the antibodies, you know, they're going to be the more powerful. Like they have direct attacks against the viruses.
Yeah.
Whereas the viruses have a little bit more defensive capabilities, and
the viruses are mostly their attack as such, air quotes. Nobody else.
Environmental
well,
hazards, that sort of stuff.
Infection, right? The more they spread the infection, again, if there are bonuses or something for being in an infected area, then they've got more advantage in more areas of the map. And so, if you can, as a white blood cell, come in, like take out one of them and then just wipe out a whole area of their infection, then you've pushed them back on the map. Oh, I'm liking that. There's some really interesting balance stuff. I'm really liking that idea of a couch multi with those paint sort of mechanics where that's the push. Yeah. I feel like that hasn't really fully been done, so that's
hasn't.
Awesome.
Cool. We came up with a new type of game. Awesome.
Yeah.
3 to 1 click.
3 to 1 click. Bargain. It's a bargain.
Social.
Sultry?
Social.
Speak up, Trevor. I don't have headphones.
I forgot. I've got headphones, so I think that...
Social bargain. Okay. Interesting. Social bargain. I mean, this could be some aspect of, like, if you think of what a social bargain would be, it's like an agreement between 2 people, right? Like, you're making some sort of bargain. It's like a handshake deal or something.
Kind of thinking about how could you subvert that and turn it into something a little bit worse.
Well, I wonder if this is some
maybe doing underhanded deals and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if this is some sort of narrative thing where I feel like the handshake is a good method of gameplay sort of thing, or a good like if you bring something if you can shake someone's hand, then you can do something
and transmit the infection from the previous game.
Well, I was more thinking someone who like has the power to briefly bring someone under their control through a handshake or something, right? And so it's like making a deal with the devil. Like that's the bargain. Maybe you even play the devil. It's like again, I'm still watching Lucifer, so there's maybe an aspect of you come into a space, and one of the ways you can solve puzzles or affect the environment is you shake someone's hand and you have to do something for them, but then like they're in your debt in some way, and so and that might mean you can literally like possess them, or so it could sort of even be like a Hitman-esque sort of thing, where instead of guns and weaponry and traps and stuff, you are manipulating people by making these deals with them.
I kind of like the idea that you're going after this guy, so you go straight to their bodyguards and basically get them on your side, and then all of a sudden you walk into the room,
well, that's what
and
I
the
mean.
bodyguards walk out.
Yeah. So they've got some, basically supernatural deal that they've made with you that can't be broken. But yeah, there's sort of an aspect of, okay, I can get this bodyguard on my side, but he has a desire that I need to fulfill.
Yep.
Right? And so it might be money, it might be safety, it might be sex, it might be drugs, it might whatever, right? Like, there's something that they want. So you have to... And so again, I'm thinking that sort of Hitman-esque level where there are resources around for all these needs, for all these key people... And some of them could be procedurally, like, for just standard passerbys, it's relatively, procedurally generated. They just want money or whatever. You choose someone else that they've got a crush on, and so you sort of manage to, like, hook them up.
Social engineering of...
Yeah, so you're doing social engineering, and that gives you some control. And you might even make it that you literally take control of that person then... And that's either you're literally possessing them, or it might just be, well, this is them carrying out their end of the bargain, and so you just sort of control them for that moment. I feel like that's an interesting twist on that Hitman.
Definitely,
mechanic, because you're not doing disguises and stuff now as such. You're literally, socially engineering these people. I don't know, what you got any good scenes that could, like, think of environments and things.
PAX.
You go. You got a PAX level. You're the devil. I'm sure there's someone dressed as Satan around here somewhere. I saw just a Jesus. So
yep. We saw an awesome costume last night, which was from Day of the Tentacle.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we saw what is it, Laverne?
Yeah, Laverne.
Yeah, I couldn't think of that last night.
Dressed up as a tentacle.
Laverne dressed up as the tentacle with the American flag.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was awesome. All right, I think let's click again.
Yep.
What time we at?
Choice.
Elevator.
So is it a choice elevator, like it's a great elevator,
choice,
or is it a elevator choice, like you've got to choose which elevator to go on?
I think it's about choosing which elevator. Maybe this is almost I don't know. There are a few different ways, because I think of something like elevator action.
Mm-hmm. Right?
That's that where it's an action-based game, but maybe in that game it was just you could use elevators to go down. Maybe this is there's more elevators, and you don't know who's in the elevators, so it's kind of maybe even having to watch the numbers to see, okay, that elevator's coming up. Like, it could be that there's someone in it, and that means I need to not go in that elevator, or maybe I've called it, so it could just be coming to me, but if it was coming up before you hit the call button, then it's probably got someone in it that's going to try to take you out, or something like that.
Maybe it's I was kind of thinking of like a party game in which you've got like so many people on the floor that want to get in the elevator. Mm-hmm. There's only going to be enough space for like one or two people on the elevator, because this is, such a busy tower that you need to choose which elevator to be in front of to have the chance to get onto it.
Okay. Are there multiple elevators coming and going, or is it about just the timing around?
I think it's more timing.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think.
And sort of knocking people out of the way in sort of almost little brawls.
So there's so you're on the ground floor of some like busy office building, and basically brawls are breaking out because only one elevator is working at a time.
Yep.
Maybe that gave me a Tapper vibe of like having to push back on different elevator lines. I don't know. I don't even know if that fits in, but there's that sense of managing. Yeah, that there's only one elevator that can come at a time. Can't overfill it. So maybe it's not that you're trying to get on it. Maybe you're trying to manage them in some way.
Well, I think
you're like the concierge or something.
The most points and like the way, sort of like the golden snitch of the game, is to actually enter the elevator, and that sort of ends the level. But you're trying to stop other people from entering as well. Like, you're trying to be the one to enter. So you're doing almost Smash Brothers style melee.
So do you get more points the emptier the elevator is?
Well, I'm thinking it's more now a 4-player Smash sort of thing.
Oh, I see. I was thinking of this more as a single player kind of having to manage stuff. But all right, you're thinking of a multiplayer thing.
I'm really in a multiplayer mood at the moment.
I can tell.
I didn't go on multiplayer in the last game, at least.
That's true. So okay, so you've got like 4 people. All right, okay, I can get behind that.
Yep.
Because like I'm picturing sort of four people running around. There's a bunch of like NPC players as well. So yeah, part of it could be the moves that you've basically got to prevent other people getting into an elevator. Is you can get NPCs into an elevator, and if it gets too full, the elevator leaves.
Yep.
Right? So they're sort of trying to push their way through, and you've managed to herd enough in front of them that they don't get to it. Then you've also maybe got, attacks where you can yank people back from an elevator.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm kind of picturing it's not particularly a fast-moving game, as in the crowds are so big or your characters are relatively slow that, yeah, it takes some effort to get up to the front of the line of the elevator. And so if you manage to get a power-up or get an item that lets you pull someone back in the line, then they're not going to get those points. That's cool. So I think maybe it's not that getting into the elevator just wins the game. It's like literally that's how you get points.
Yeah.
And so you hop into an elevator, you get 100 points or whatever, and then you come back down another elevator and you're back in and you're trying to get more points.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a courier or something. Like you're trying to... I'm just trying to
I do kind of like the idea that you're trying to deliver all these packages to all these different levels.
Yeah.
And each time you get back to the elevator, it's like, oh, God damn it, there's people there again.
Yeah, exactly. Like... You have to come down the stairs or something. The elevators are only going up. They're only taking people up. They're not bringing people down. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. There is a lot of ideas to be had in that sort of couch multi-competitive stuff.
Yeah, it really is.
Fun stuff to do. All right, well, have you had enough?
Yeah, I reckon we've got like 20 minutes worth of footage, so...
That's pretty good. All right, well... Live from the PAX floor. I don't know where we're going to cut this in, so we might not use an intro and outro, but thanks for listening. We're going to go see some panels and shit and games. And
we'll be back soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay, so we are here with the devs of Mega Punchy Golf on the PAX floor. Would you guys like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your game?
So, my name's Bryson. I'm the main developer on Mega Punchy Golf. Basically, it's mini golf for VR, where the balls are giant and you punch them.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. So, how did you guys actually come up with this idea?
How did I come up with the title? Okay. Well, it's tied to how I came up with the game idea. And I like to watch a lot of YouTubers play mini golf games like Golf with Your Friends, Golf It, and the amount of rage they have playing those games at times, I was like, let's take that rage and let's make it physical. So it's stress-inducing and it's stress therapy at the same time.
Were there any challenges that you came across in development that you had to overcome? That you wanted, things that you wanted to get in originally that you didn't quite...
Yeah, so one of the big things that I want to work on is a custom track editor, because user-generated content just adds so much to a game. You hop on, it's like, hey, look at all this wacky stuff that I myself could never even think to make. And so that's one of the things we're working towards, but yeah.
That's awesome.
So just to give you a rundown, we have a segment called Clip Pitch.
Okay, yeah.
Where we take some random words, put them together and try to come up with a game design based on that.
Ooh, okay.
So just riff on it, just have fun with it. If nothing comes from it, whatever, we throw it away. It's, talk is cheap. So, Trevor, do you have the random word generator up there? Give us a couple of words.
Stay.
Stay. Okay, and then give us another word.
Solving.
Stay and solving. Okay. So I'm thinking something where...
Well, stay is great for VR because it means that if you're not moving around, you don't get sick.
That's it. No, you don't need room scale. You can stand there.
You can stay.
So maybe it's someone confined to a particular space. Like bring that into the game and having to solve something.
A detective game is the first thing that pops to mind.
Yeah.
Where you'll have to like observe the room, explore, you figure out what's happened here, and you solve a mystery.
I'm thinking maybe even a little bit of a Rear Window vibe. Stuck in one spot, and you've got like binoculars, having to.
Or what if you can stay, but what you're in isn't staying? So what if you're in a car and you're looking out the rear window and you got to solve a crime while driving around the city in the back of a car?
So you're controlling the car at the same time?
No, it controls itself.
Oh, okay. All right. That's a good self-driving car. Controlling
Tesla
itself.
detective.
Yeah, Tesla detective. There you go. We've got our title. Awesome. I don't know, Trevor, you got anything?
This is great. I'm just letting you two riff.
I'm sure Elon Musk won't mind. I'm sure he'll be all for it.
He'll fund it for us. It's free advertising. You have to I'm thinking you have to, because the Teslas have all the self-stopping, detection of obstacles. So maybe if you really need to get a good look at something, you have to somehow get someone to walk out in front of the car. And so it has to stop. Then you got more time to, maybe you have to call someone at the right time.
Maybe you can hack the red lights.
There you go. Yeah, you got some like Watchdog style as you go through, kind of hacking into stuff. I like it.
So I wonder, do you actually have like some sound detection devices that you can use that you've got to sort of like aim at like a window as you're driving past to try and hear some dialogue going on that you
so you can like listen into people's conversations.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's part of the solving the crime is, or maybe you're like a PI or something.
Yeah, you've got all this fancy like spy gadgets. Yeah, but you're confined to the car.
Yeah, that's it. You just set it on, travel around the block, and every time you go past the window, you're like trying to snap pictures or get sound. Yeah, I like it. Cool. I think we've got a game on our hands.
Yeah.
There you go.
Next year.
Yeah, once you're done, Tesla Detective. Nice. All right, well, thank you
When does Mega Punchy Golf come out?
So, no set release date just yet. We're aiming for hopefully early next year.
Yep.
And we'll be releasing on Steam VR, so supporting Rift, Vive, Valve Index, Windows Mixed Reality, and then we'll explore other platforms from there.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for talking to us and having a bit of fun.
Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking out the game.
Absolutely. All right, we're here on the PAX floor with Mike, the developer of Dead Static Drive.
Hi.
Thank you for talking to us. Do you want to just tell us just a little bit about the game and where it's at? And is there a release date yet?
There is a release date. There's not a public release date.
Okay.
We're planning to announce it soon, but we just want to make sure that we do it with a trailer because we really want to show people the game in a way that highlights it.
Yeah.
So basically our game is Grand Theft Cthulhu. It's a nightmare horror road trip adventure through the United States.
Yeah. That's a great descriptor. It sells it well. And look, the game is gorgeous. It sells itself very well. So I'm sure the trailer is going to be fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So look, I think we're going to do what we call click pitch. So we click a random word generator. We get 2 words. We don't know what they're going to be. We just throw them together and we'll just riff on a game design.
Love it.
We do this every week. It's going to be good. All right, what do we got? Alteration and short. Okay, short alteration. So, yeah,
I'm immediately thinking it would be a tailor.
Yes,
because you can have short clothing, you can have longer clothing. So I'm thinking it's a game about being a tailor, and people come in, bring outfits to you.
Yeah, I like that. You could have some maybe like RPG-ish. Maybe you're like the tailor for, people's armor and stuff, like in an RPG-ish sort of world. So you're having to like apply, different cuts might give you different abilities or something.
I love it. And maybe also people come in and they tell you what they're going to. I'm going to a dungeon, and it's a dank dungeon, so I really need you to bring the boots up high.
That's it. Yeah, waterproof it a bit more. Yeah. You need to put some fireproofing on if they're going to fight a dragon or something.
Yes, absolutely. And so what are the trade-offs? Maybe the trade-offs are they don't have much money, so you've got to think of how you use the materials they bring you.
Yeah, that's it. If they're bringing you the materials they need, or maybe you've got the market that you can buy your own materials, so you're having to balance your economy of money coming in versus what materials you can afford.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You got anything?
No, I'm loving.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think that's great, and also you'd have to make it fashion souls. So
well, that's it. Yeah, there's a
points for appeal.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. You know, you could even have fashion. You know, that changes over time. The trends come and go. You know?
Oh, I love that. Nobody's wearing pauldrons anymore.
yeah, exactly.
It's so like 258 BC.
That's it. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a game there. Cool. Yeah, so look, and one thing we do sort of, you know, we're really interested in that first idea, like we just did of a game. Was there something that sort of set off the idea for this when you started?
Oh, so many things. I've wanted to make a horror game for the longest time. And I worked in studios, and when we worked in studios, everyone who was working on cricket or flight sims, they were like, we want to make a space game.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do as a studio. And I always just said to them, I want to make I want to make something scary that's just set in a small town.
Yeah.
And so it's just been percolating for a long time.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Oh, well, the game looks awesome, and thanks for doing some click pitch with us.
Absolute pleasure.
It's
Thank
really
you.
good to meet you.
Awesome.
All right. Okay, we're now here with Alex.
Hello.
From Heavenly Bodies. What do you do on this game, and tell us a little bit about it?
I'm one of the two lead designers.
Yep.
As in, we're a two-person team. I take half the design load, and I also take the programming and tech load. So yeah, I work alongside Josh.
Yep.
Doing the art. Yep.
Great. And I'm looking at the game right now. It looks really nice. All great physics-based sort of space exploration, it looks like. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about sort of the overall game loop and gameplay that you...
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially, you're in space, you're a cosmonaut, there's no gravity, and your only means about moving around the world are via your hands and arms. So the whole world is physically simulated.
Yep.
And that's pretty much all you need to know.
Yeah. Look, and it's perfectly my aesthetic. There's something about, I don't know, physics in 2D space like that. You know, there's a cross-section of the space station that works really well.
Cool.
So, as we've been doing, we're going to do what we call click pitch.
Yep.
So we're going to get 2 words from a random word generator, and we'll just riff on some game ideas and see what comes from it.
Oh gosh, okay.
All right, so we have certainty and shortening.
Certainty and
Shortening. Oh, I wonder if shortening is like what you put into like shortbread. Is that shortening?
Can you shorten shortbread?
Well, I think there's the thing, like the fat that you put in is called shortening.
Right. Okay.
So it's like a baking game, perhaps?
But we need to be certain that this can work, right?
Well, that's it. There needs to be certainty around it. So perhaps it's, I don't know, some sort of volatile baking.
Perhaps. Like you can't really be certain that the shortening is actually going to make a really good shortcake. I mean, shortcake is really hard to do. So.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, it's that skill thing. Well, maybe you've got, I don't know, different types of shortening that are gonna...
Could we like literally be shortening something else? Can we be shortening a carrot? Can we be taking slices of it?
Well, what it could actually be is, at first you thought that you were baking a cake, and then you realised it was very volatile, so it turned into like a more explosive sort of thing. So now you're trying to work out whether you can actually use this to do some sort of break-in or something like that. Like,
so we're basically creating like an explosive shortcake.
Explosive shortcake.
Yeah, I do like the cakes with different properties, perhaps. So, you know, shortening is one of your ingredients, but maybe based on the different things you put in there.
Like nitroglycerin and...
Yeah, like you've got a cake that when you cut it, acid comes out and it, like, burns through something. And then, then it's a heist game with cakes.
It's good. And then, like, you're never certain about what's going to be in the cake. You can share cakes with others.
Yeah, exactly.
Cakes, and, like, you never know what's going to come.
Yeah, perfect. That's it. I don't know, there's a game there. There's something there.
Someone will buy it.
Yeah, that's it. People like cakes, food games. Nice. So we do like to ask the devs because, you know, we're really interested in sort of that first little gem of an idea, you know, that can sometimes come from random words but comes from so many different things. Was there something in particular that sort of gave you the idea for this game, or?
Yeah, so it's we do tend to like have a primary focus on like forming a like primary movement system and mechanic.
Yep.
So I think that's how we approach a lot of our games. And with this, our first thought was like, okay, like we have 0 gravity, we have 4 limbs. Like how, with one controller, do we control 4 limbs?
Yep.
And turns out it's a really tricky question.
I can imagine.
we started with like one analog stick, and like you'd almost have like a magnet, which would like direct the limbs around. But we quickly discovered like this, there's virtually no control within this. Like you're just flopping around like a fish out of water. But with this, we've decided to like map one arm to the left joystick and the other arm to the right joystick. So you have and there's kind of like
a back and forth kind of, yeah.
And with a lot of practice, you can actually get it. So I think a lot of people compare it to Octodad or even Quap.
Yep.
It's not an easy game. Like, they look elegant, but it does take time to get to that stage.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll give it a go, and we'll see how it feels. All right, well, thanks so much for talking to us, and yeah. All right, we're here with Matt, one of the developers of Cybermonk. Do you want to tell us just a little bit about the game and what you do on it?
Yeah, for sure. So Cybermonk is basically a competitive multiplayer take on classic block pushing and laser puzzles. So as you're playing, it's really combining this geometric brain teaser element with the kind of single-screen multiplayer chaos you'd see in Bomberman or Overcooked.
Nice. Yeah. I'm watching it right now. It's I love the colors, and the chaos is definitely coming through.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm really focused on in the development. So I've worked on kind of the graphics and the lighting for the game.
Yeah. No, it's
working
really
on
good.
getting these really these kind of soft shadows are something that we've focused on for the aesthetic.
Yeah. No, it's looking great. So look, we like to think about the sort of inspiration behind a game, like that moment of coming up with the idea. You know, this is what we do with the random words, and we'll do that in a moment. Was there a particular moment where you came up with the idea for this game, or as a group, you know, hit on the core sort of idea?
Yeah. So Cybermonk actually came out of Global Game Jam in 2018.
Right. Nice.
So we were given the theme of transmission.
Yep.
And the group of us kind of sat down and brainstormed for it's probably at least an hour before we settled on an idea. But when this idea came up of using mirrors to redirect lasers, that was something that we all really got behind.
Yep. Was there is there anything that was sort of part of that idea that you had to leave on the cutting room floor, or do you feel like you got the entirety of the idea into the game as it is now?
Oh, so in the Game Jam, the initial version actually featured some very basic, kind of randomly generated maps. And that was the version that we had at the end of those 48 hours.
Yeah.
But within a week after that, when we kept working on it, we decided actually we need to be able to design these maps and have it be a more kind of controlled multiplayer experience.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. All right, well, we're going to do a click pitch. And so we're going to take two random words, and we'll just riff on that and try to come up with a new game design, and, you know, pretend you're at a game jam. We've been there too. So
that sounds great.
We've got motion, okay, and all. Okay.
All?
So
Okay.
everything's in motion, I guess.
Yeah, everything. So nothing is allowed to be still.
That's it. Yeah, no static elements. It's all like relative motion. Something like relative motion, perhaps. Yeah.
Maybe you're trying to arrange some things, but it's a bit annoying because nothing can stop moving.
Well, that's it. Well, we were just over playing Heavenly Bodies, where, you know, you're out in space and you're having to grab things. So maybe there's something like that, but with a bit of like you're having to build something in zero gravity, or, you know, put things together and nothing ever stops moving.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah. Or you could even go down to the level of like a match 3 almost. It's like match 3 style, but everything's constantly moving. Yeah.
Everything's just drifting a little bit.
Yeah, that's it. You got to kind of compress it all together to get them to actually join up and go bang. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a nugget of an idea there that you could play with.
Yeah. Well, maybe the things that you're trying to move around are in motion because they're sentient as well.
Yes.
They're little characters, and you can't get them to sit still.
I do love the idea of just like, little humanoid, you know, I don't know, characters with their little arms and legs kicking, and you know, they're looking around and grabbing onto each other, and you're trying to somehow put them together in some way. That'd be cool. I like that. Yeah,
maybe you're a teacher. You're trying to line up so you can teach them a certain skill, and they're all fidgety and they get distracted.
Oh, that's cool. Making a metaphor for actually teaching kids and having to, you know, herd cats, as they say, herd kids.
Yeah. Maybe you're training a group of cats as well.
Yeah. I like it. Okay, that's. I think you could build off that. Yeah. There you go. There's your next game. So, herding cats.
Lock it in.
Yeah, totally.
Confirmed right here. Feeds game number 2.
Yeah.
Herding cats.
All right. Well, thanks very much for talking to us. It was fun. And
thank you.
Yeah, the game looks great.
Thanks
awesome.
a lot.
Thanks. Okay, so we're here with Chris, one of the lead developer of Brimstone Brawlers, which has a really nice, like, cel-shaded sort of aesthetic going on. Can you tell us a bit about the game?
Yeah, so we've been working on Brimstone Brawlers for about 2 years now. It's a top-down brawler set in a Victorian/medieval fantasy world. So you get to choose from a bunch of really strange characters. So you get to be a few of the heroes in the world, but most of the characters are like the townsfolk. So you can play as the butcher or the chimney sweep, and all of those, they're competitive against the hero characters, so you get this kind of strange combat. It's really fun.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so I think you mentioned kind of a bit of a Smash Brothers vibe combined with like a MOBA sort of thing. So
we take the fast-paced aspects of Smash Brothers and then more of the traditional MOBA designs with skills that are on timers and things like that, and we try and smash them together.
Sure, yeah. Well, we do like smashing ideas together here on BitStorm. That's kind of our MO. So, look, we're going to jump into something we call click pitch. So we're going to take 2 words from this random word generator, and we'll just riff on an idea and see what we come up with.
Awesome.
So what do we have? Commitment. Ooh, okay. And produce, or produce, I guess.
Produce.
But I like produce. I like the idea of committing to produce.
Sounds like Farm Simulator or something.
Yeah, or maybe someone like trying to become vegetarian and having to like fend off meat creatures or something.
Interesting.
I don't know. I see meat on the screen right now, so you've got the butcher character in your game going.
Yeah, he's traditional butcher guy.
Yeah, I don't know. Produce, commitment to produce. Maybe it's. What sort of if produce was to get married? What would an apple marry? Is it taboo to marry outside of your fruit?
Well, I mean, you'd want to go with something that tastes good with you, right? So
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Apple and pork. That's a thing, apparently.
That's it. Well, and then, if we bring in the whole vegetarian thing, that's going to really mess stuff up.
Yeah, that is. That's a twist.
Yeah. And look, it doesn't just have to be 2. We're sex positive. We're open to all types of relationships. If you want to get a fruit salad going, then that's fine.
Exactly. Yep.
So I'm not sure what the game is here. Maybe you're... I guess it's just like a matchmaker, you're matching up the fruits.
Yeah, they're popular these days.
Yeah. So a bit of a dating game with
dating
fruit.
simulator.
That's it. Yeah, that could work.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's a bit different than what you're working on, but I think you've probably got your next game idea there.
Yeah,
build on top of that.
Yeah, thanks for that. 50-50.
Yeah. No, look, we're really into the idea of just that initial kind of gem of an idea, the nugget of an idea that builds into something like this. Was there something in particular, or a moment where you sort of came up with the idea?
Yeah, so I used to work down in Sydney, or up in Sydney from here, and we were playing party games every Friday at work, but none of the party games you could actually get better at. Yeah. So we weren't allowed to bring a Nintendo in to play Smash Brothers. So I figured, let's try and make a party game where you can skill up, kind of learn your MOBA skills, and then come back and burst people, have fun at parties while playing the game at home online as well.
Awesome. So are there level mechanics, like upgrade mechanics that cross sessions, or
no?
It's more about your own personal skills?
Yeah, it's more about skill shots.
Yeah. Nice. Awesome. Well, look, the game looks great. We'll give it a go sometime this weekend if we get back to it. Yeah, well, probably now. There you go. But yeah, thanks for talking to us.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Cheers, guys.
Thanks a lot. We're here with Dylan. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your game, Elden, Path of the Forgotten?
So it's a medieval eldritch fantasy game. It's based around reactive combat and environmental storytelling. So reactive combat, you just stamina management, positioning, going for parry attacks, and then environmental storytelling in the way that there's no dialogue and there's no text in the game. All the text in the game is obscured by an unknown language. Yep. So it is readable, just not comprehensible.
So do you learn that sort of throughout the game then to be able to read it eventually, or that's more of an Easter eggy kind of...
it's not a mechanic, but it is translatable. They can go through and actually work it all out, but that'd be something you'd need to take into your own time. So maybe a forum could work it out or something. Medieval, eldritch, so swords, magic, and mystical beasts.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, well, we really like to sort of think about, we do the random game design, so we sort of, that initial nugget of an idea that a dev, to come up with a game that then builds into something like this. Was there a moment or a particular conversation that kind of sparked this idea to get you started?
It was a little bit of a weird process because the game actually started as a university project.
Right.
So a lot of it came out of necessity. It was like, you need to make something. And it's like, oh shit, I better make something.
Yep.
And so, it really just came from everything I was enjoying at the time. But it also just came from some weird dreams I was having. So, the inspiration is a little bit weird. I'm still kind of trying to work out where the game actually did come from.
Yep.
But, yeah.
Well, look, that's therapy as game design helps. So,
yeah. Well, as creatives, I feel like you just kind of have to create, and sometimes things just kind of come out of you.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. Well, we're going to get something creative out of you. So we're going to get 2 random words from our random word generator, and we'll riff on those. So we have brief and chaos. Brief chaos.
and chaos.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like some sort of magic mechanic that's like very limited in, I don't know, like a short burst of something. That's kind of what came to mind for me. Brief chaos.
Yeah, I'm thinking like jobs for some reason, like a brief in that way, like you get a brief for something you need to do.
Okay.
Probably because one of my publishers' games is a first day at job horror game.
Yep.
So it's kind of like got me in that
would
side
be
of my brain.
Yeah, well, I like the idea of creating chaos just via like sending out memos.
Yeah.
You know?
Kind of like paper please.
Yeah.
But not organizing, just in the complete opposite.
Exactly.
Just chaos.
Creating, you maybe you're in charge of, a company. And for whatever reason, tax purposes.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you get audited or something. And like,
but you're trying to bring it down somehow, And so it's like, okay, send a message that diverts, this resource over there because they need it over here, and that's going to totally screw them up, and they can't handle it. Yeah.
So chaos management, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got a chaos meter.
I'd play it.
Chaos Inc. Yeah, look, that's what we want to get to. I'd play that. That actually used to be our our sign off was I'd play that. So that's where we go. So that's good. Well, the game's looking really good. You said you've been working on it for 4 years.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a process.
Yeah.
As a mainly solo developer.
Yep.
It's a lot like
Yeah. You thinking of a release date in mind, or it's still just an ongoing?
So like early next year.
Yeah.
Like February. About that. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And that's like Steam, Utomic, Xbox, PlayStation, Switch.
Everything. All the good stuff.
It's going to be around.
Nice. Awesome. Yep. Well, good luck getting that out, and with the continuing therapy and hard work. And that is the game.
It's an ongoing process.
Yeah. It was really good to talk to you.
Yeah. You too. Cheers.
All right, so now we are here with Jeff from Witchbeam Studios, is it, or just Witchbeam?
Witchbeam.
With your game Unpacking.
Yes.
Which, as I said a moment ago, I've sort of seen a bit of it on Twitter. You've got the little GIFs of people just putting things away, which is very interesting to see. So
it is.
You just want to tell us a little bit about the game and sort of how it came about?
Yes, well, the game is called Unpacking, and currently it's on the PC, Mac, and Linux.
Yep.
And it's you can wishlist it on Steam. It's currently in development. It's been in full-time development since January of this year, and we looking like we'll finish sort of later 2020.
Nice.
Is when we're thinking. It is a relaxing Zen game where you unpack things out of boxes, and you learn about the life of a character that you never see. And you learn about them by the objects that you unpack.
Yeah.
And basically you start off in their childhood. You unpack a child's room. Then when you're finished with that, you move on to another year. A few years later, they're older. They move into a bigger place. There's new things that they have. And you start to decode what kind of person this is and what part of their life they're going through and what they're going through.
That's super interesting, yeah.
So it's a very subtle story.
Yeah.
And I think some people will clue into it, and some people won't, and it won't really matter if you do or don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the full experience would be to figure out, to figure that out. So
yeah. Cool. So you were saying off air that the sound, obviously there's a lot of content to be created in this game. You've got sort of all these custom items in each room.
Yeah,
and,
that's
like
right.
You said,
and
telling
some
the story.
Yes, and some of them have custom behaviors.
Yep.
Like the Rubik's Cube, you can solve it by not, and it's much easier to solve in our game than in reality. So different objects have unique sounds. There's just we have 2 artists working on the game. we have a really talented pixel artist named Angus who is helping us out. And so every item makes a unique sound depending on what surface you put it on.
Yep.
And then music-wise, I've gone for a very sort of chilled out, sort of my interpretation of chiptunes meets the acoustic guitar. So,
right, nice.
I just tried to make it nice and relaxing.
Yeah.
And
the headphones are a necessity here. Then probably
I
at the
think
booth.
so.
Really get the full experience.
To get the full experience.
Sure,
yes, for sure.
All right, well, we're going to jump into something we call click pitch. So we're going to take 2 random words.
Okay.
We'll tell you what they are. And so we've got traffic and pressure.
And what'd you say?
Pressure.
Pressure.
So come up with an idea around those words.
Okay.
That you would turn into a game. So
Traffic, pressure. Well, the two kind of go hand in hand already.
A
don't
little
they?
bit,
I mean,
yeah. I'm either thinking something around the flow of traffic and like the pressures behind that, or the pressure of sitting in traffic.
Yes.
Is slowly getting more and more anxious.
Can I make it topical?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So if you're holding up traffic for climate change, do you let an ambulance through or not?
That's wow. Yes, exactly. There you go.
Think you
can have those. Yes, I think so.
To what extent? I was reading about never mind. Anyways, I made it topical. Sorry.
No, perfect.
I couldn't help myself.
Those are the sorts of decisions that that such a game might have.
Yeah.
So either maybe you play both sides of it. You're holding up traffic and having to make decisions, or you're in traffic. And sort of dealing with the pressures that come along. You've probably got to give the finger button, to someone out the window, or or you can choose to go the Zen way and just put on some music and deal your way through.
Yeah. I don't know how you would actually turn traffic into a Zen game. That would be how the hell would you do that?
I mean, perhaps I don't know if it's just dealing with those pressures, or is it about the flow of traffic and the lack of pressure when you're just going straight through green lights? Is the timing of it or something, or setting up an intersection so that traffic is flowing smoothly?
What you do is you make sure that everybody in their car is listening to the Unpacking soundtrack.
There you go.
And they're just chilling out.
You're not going to have any road rage. Exactly. Perfect. Nice. So look, we with the sort of improvised stuff that we do, we really like to think about that initial idea of a game and how that comes about. Was there
traffic pressure?
Was there do you know the story, or what was the story of sort of how Unpacking came about as an idea?
Yeah, it's actually really cool.
Yeah.
So Tim over there, that's Tim Dawson. Is the programmer in the game, and Ren is she came up with the idea of the game, and Ren and Tim became partners.
Yep.
And they moved in together. And it was actually they were moving in together and unpacking boxes, and kind of just got inspired by. They saw how it could become a game in real life, and then they because they were finding they were kind of. I think they used the word they were Tetrising their items together in cupboards and shelves, right? And so. They just sort of started knocking up a prototype of the idea, and it went on from there.
Yeah.
So
it was definitely a bold move to go with pixel art. Like, obviously, it looks amazing.
Yes, and that's Ren's specialty.
Yeah. But I can imagine the challenges in building a game in that way. But,
for sure. Like, basically, it's just like, because you can't just render something at multiple angles.
Well, that's what I mean.
You have to draw every angle.
You must have had to, really lock down the perspective early on, and then
for sure.
No, that's great.
For sure.
Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to unpacking everything and seeing that story, and
awesome.
Looking forward to it coming out.
Yeah, no worries.
Right, thanks.
Nice talking to you.
Yeah, you too.